Hey, this is C&D Channel. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my predictions for Bellator 79, which is going to happen on November 2nd on MTV2. As far as the card goes, it's kind of like last week's card. You know, you had two fights that are pretty much just showcase fights in a way, with the Lima fight and Ryan Ford fight. Undercard has a couple decent prospects. Marcus Lalo Aurelio, Vitaly Minakov, so there's some decent prospects on the undercard as well. Main card, you had the heavyweight-tourney semifinal and the featherweight-tourney semifinal. It looks like they can be pretty good. Not the strongest card in my opinion, but Bellator cards tend to be a lot of fun. Let's get started. We got Richard Hale versus Thiago Santos for the heavyweight-tourney semifinal. This one's actually hard for me to call. I'm pretty high on both these guys. I'm really high on Richard Hale because he has really solid boxing and complemented with a really good submission and ground game as well. He's fought at 205. He doesn't look like a small, because he's pretty tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4", I think. So he's pretty tall. So he doesn't look like a small heavyweight or anything like that. Thiago Santos cuts down to 265. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and some pretty good offensive takedowns. Record-wise, you got Thiago Santos with a 11-1 record with a 1-0 contest. I also don't know if he recovered from the groin shot axe kick from Eric Prindle or not, but he's only 25 years old. 2 wins by KO or TKO and 5 wins by sub. Where Richard Hale has a 20 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. 9 wins by KO or TKO and 8 wins by submission. And he's 27 years old. This one's really, like I said, this one's actually pretty hard for me to call. I think that Hale is the more well-rounded fighter and the more experienced guy. I'm kind of going with Santos for a couple of reasons. One is offensive takedown ability. And 2, he does have heavy hands. And 2, he's just going to be like the bigger guy. Maybe bigger as in more stocky. I don't even know if he'll be taller. But just the bigger guy. The guy who weighs more, I guess, in this fight. This one's hard for me to call, to be honest, because there's a lot of things about Thiago Santos I'm not sure about. His cardio is one thing. He does have good offensive takedowns. He's still kind of green. Like, when he got Prindle on the ground, it's like, he didn't really know what to do. He was on, like, side mount, north-south, and he didn't really seem to know what to do. So this one, it's really tough call for me. I think that Richard Hale is a more well-rounded fighter, to be honest. But Santos, heavy-handed, gonna weigh more, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm gonna go with him for to win this one. Next fight after that, we have Mike Richman versus Shahbulat Shamhalaev. Shamhalaev's a good fighter, 10-1, 2-1 record with 1 draw, 3 wins by KO or TKO, and he has a 4-fight win streak. His last fight, though, I think it was against Bollinger, if I'm not mistaken. One thing I noticed at the stand-up is he fights with his hands low, but he did show some really good ground and pound in his last outing. Richman, though, he's someone I'm pretty high on. 13-1 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, and 7 subs. He's only 27 and a 4-fight win streak. This guy's kickboxing is solid, and he's got some heavy hands. This guy definitely can do one-punch knockouts. I think he won his last fight by like head kick and punches, if I'm not mistaken, or was it knees? I think it was head kick and punches. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu solid as well. I gotta go with Richman. He's definitely like a dark horse prospect. I don't think many people know him, but man, he's been wrecking guys as of late. Okay, next fight after that, we have Douglas the Phenom Lima versus Jacob Ortiz. I got to go with Lima here. This guy is really, outside of the Askren fight, he's a really good fighter. I think he'd be a solid. If he were to UFC, I think he'd be a solid fighter. His only problem is his takedown defense and the fact that he's a little too content off his back. Are pretty much his only real weaknesses. With Jacob Ortiz, 13-3 record, 5 wins by KO TKO, 5 wins by sub, and he trains at Power Team MMA. Lima has a 21-5 record, 7 wins by KO TKO, 11 wins by sub, and he's only 24. Trains at American Top Team Atlanta. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is really good guard, just really good off his back. Throws up arm bars, triangles, and just really good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. His right hand is deadly. He downed Ben Saunders and Chris Lozano with it. And his kickboxing has been greatly improving. And he's showing some heavy-handedness. Lima arguably could be like the second best Bellator welterweight out there, to be perfectly honest. No disrespect to like a Lyman Good or who I'm a fan of, Andrei Koreshkov, who's really good as well, or Carl Amassi, who's a huge fan of. But I kind of think that Lima might actually just be better than those guys, but not as good as Askren, in my opinion. But, we'll see, because they're all really good fighters. Okay, in the final fight of the main card, we have Kyle Baker versus Ryan Ford. Baker, 12-6 record, 9 wins by KO or TKO. He has 1 submission by strikes and 3 losses by submission. He's 32 years old. Ryan Ford has an 18-4 record, 10 wins by KO or TKO, 7 wins by sub. He also has 3 losses by sub. But he's 30 years old and trains at TriStar. 2-fight win streak. I remember his fight against that was a Santos. I think it's Luis Santos, is that his name? Jeez, I forgot his name. But, come from behind victory, he's getting beat up, all of a sudden came back, knocked out. I think it's Luis Santos, I'm not too sure. Or Silva, I forgot. He has some solid stand-up, and he does have a good ground game as well. Ryan Ford, he's also big for a welterweight. Just a really strong guy. Got to go with Ryan Ford to win this one. Okay, on to the prelims. We got Kevin Aspin versus Alexei Kudin. I just remember Aspin's last fight against Brett Rogers, and he kind of looked like a blown-up light heavyweight, to be honest. Good record, 15-2 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, and 6 wins by sub. Alexei Kudin, 14-4 record, 10 wins by KO or TKO, 1 submission by strikes. Only 27 years old, 5-fight win streak, but it is his first fight in Bellator. I've heard of Alexei. I think he might have been on like the scouting report or something. But I'm gonna go with Alexei Kudin to win this fight. Okay, next fight after that we have Marcus Lalo Aurelio versus Chris Frank. Frank though, 3-3 record, 1 win by TKO and 2 decisions. Just 2 losses by KO TKO. With Lalo, 6-1 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, 1 submission victory. And his only loss is his first MMA fight. He's only 26. I gotta go with Marcus Lalo Aurelio to win this one. Okay, next fight, someone's gonna lose their 0 as Vitaly Minakov fights Vladimir Starsimkov. Vladimir is a 2-0 undefeated record with 1 win by TKO and 1 win by sub. He's 29 years old and as a pro has never been past the first round. With Vitaly, he's a 9-0 undefeated record, 4 wins by KO or TKO, 4 wins by sub, and 27 years old. I gotta go with Vitaly to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, we have Josh Pulsifer versus Mago Medrezul versus John Pulsifer versus Mago Medrezul Kasparov. Tough name to pronounce. But Pulsifer, interesting guy. Definitely a guy that fights to finish. 17-7 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 13 wins by sub. He has 5 losses by KO or TKO, 2 losses by sub. So all his losses are by finish, and he's 29 years old. With Magomed Rasul, 17-5 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, 10 wins by sub. He also has 4 losses by submission as well. 26-year-old and has a 5-fight win streak. You can really tell that, like, Bellator, just in the undercard, you can really tell that Bellator's really looking outside of the U.S., really into, like, Eastern Europe as well, to find their talent and to find their prospects. And some of them, like Krishkov, for example, and even though Sarnovsky lost against Clemente, he's still a good prospect. You can tell in this undercard that they're finding a lot of prospects outside the U.S. I think Magomed Rizal is going to win this one. Okay, next fight after that, Johnny Carson fights Guame De Lorenzi. Okay, Carson has a 10-5 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 6 wins by sub, and all 5 of his losses are by submission. He trains at Scrap Pack, actually. De Lorenzi, 9-1 record, 8 wins by KO or TKO, 1 decision win. He's 28 on a 4-fight win streak. I'll go with De Lorenzi to win that one. And finally, Ed Carpenter fights Josh Appelt. I'll just go with Josh Appelt here. 17 record, 5 wins by KO or TKO, and 1 win by sub. 3-fight win streak. Whereas Ed Carpenter, he's on a 2-fight losing streak, 5-3 record with 1 no contest. Okay, that's pretty much it for my Bellator 79 predictions. If you have any comments, just leave them below. That's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.